Let's get to Julius Randle. Seems to be he's always a polarizing figure with Knicks fans. A lot of people, at least based on what I've seen on Twitter, a lot of Twitter users upset with his effort, upset with the energy and the speed at which he rotates on defense and challenges shots. And I just want to hear your take on what you've seen from Randle in this series and specific to those areas.
I mean, I think it's completely fair for him to be criticized. You could go back to the Cavs series, Game 4, where Tom Thibodeau had to bench him in that fourth quarter because Randle's, effort was to me was so lacking. Now, you want to say the ankle is still bothering him or he's conserving energy. I just don't think the extra effort has been there on a consistent basis. Now, look, there are plays where it is, but it's not consistent enough. And you always hear Tim say, like, if it's lacking from one guy out there, it messes everything up. And I think that's really been the issue for the Knicks. The Heat, to me, the Heat have been getting all the loose balls, all the hustle plays, kind of giving that extra effort. And there are times when the Knicks have 3 or 4 guys doing it, but not all 5. And that one guy who doesn't do it kind of changes everything. And I'm not saying it's Randle every time, but to me, the Randle effort on a consistent every play basis on the defensive end hasn't been there. And there are plenty of clips you can see from these 2 games in Miami where it hasn't been there. And I think the frustrating thing is he has the ability. Jalen Brunson's not a great defensive player. He's limited physically. He's going to get – it's just the way it is. Randle has the physical capacity to be a great defender, and he just doesn't do it consistently. And look, I mean, there are a lot of Knicks fans that are down on him. It goes back as well to 2 years ago where he really did perform well. He's had a ton of turnovers in this series, especially the last 2 games. He's their all-star. He's the guy, and the criticism he's facing to me is warranted. And I think it's something that the Knicks have to really look at in this offseason is can they get to the next level with him?
And Zach, I'm happy you brought up the comparison with Jalen Brunson because a lot of people will turn around and they'll say, well, like you just said, Jalen Brunson's not a good defender either. But I'll steal a point. I love stealing points from my colleagues. Benji Ritholtz made this point last night when we were watching, which is like, it's one thing when a guy is limited physically. Jalen Brunson is a small guy. There's only so much he could do. Only so well he could move. Like you pointed out, we've seen Julius Randle be. I'll go so far as to say, at times, almost like a borderline exceptional one-on-one defender. I don't know if we could go that far as being an exceptional team defender, but he's at the very least been a passable team defender. I mean, think back, even during this year, like the game where they played the Clippers, and he took Kawhi Leonard, all NBA level player, one-on-one defensive assignment down the stretch of that game, and did a really nice job. He has that ability in there. So when fans like me see the poor closeouts, the missed rotations, lack of attention to like just getting in a stance, not putting a hand up, and then you throw in the couple of plays last night where it's okay. There's a turnover on the Knicks side of the court, and there's a Knick running back, and both times the initial attempt by the Miami Heat at their basket failed. If Julius Randle had made a 110% effort to get back into play, might have prevented the Heat from scoring on one or both of those. He's there with his arms up on the other side of the floor still, late coming into the picture. I think that's the stuff more than anything that gets under people's skin, to say nothing of the fact that he's still a, sub 40% career shooter in the playoffs. And, that's an issue, even though he shot it well last night.